Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. This is my favorite series I have going right now on the TED Show. It's one near and dear to my heart. It's Heroes Always Welcome, where we spotlight veterans. We talk about the issues they have transitioning out, talk about what they're doing now. It's here to inspire and motivate, hopefully, you all who are out there listening. And I am honored to have two vets today. Obviously, my co-host with the most, Enrique Acosta Gonzalez, is here. He's 26-year Navy veteran. And then we have our special guest today, who's a friend of mine, Lingo Smith. Lingo's an Army vet. We're going to talk about his time in the service and how he transitioned out and what he's doing now. So welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
Hey,
Doing well.
good.
Good. All right, Enrique, we always like to start with you. Just give them a little background for those people who have not watched the show before, what you do.
All right, Ted. Thank you. 26-year Navy veteran, as you said. I do leadership development, whether it's personal development, if you want to get better, or you want me to come and talk to your company. I love to do that, but that's what I do.
And he's all bougie, and he always looks good on his camera. And here I am. You got backgrounds. Looks like I didn't sleep this morning. I slept good. I don't know what's going on with my camera angle. I'm going to blame it on the camera. But now we got our honored guest, who's Lingo Smith. We're both in the real estate world, and that's how I met Lingo. But he's got his own journey and story to share. So, Lingo, before we went live, I told you the audience loves to hear a little bit about your journey. So let's start with I was born and try to skip through the goods to the good stuff.
Okay. So yeah, like I come from Columbia, South Carolina, raised in like a very rough neighborhood, and made it out of that. And I ended up going to the military. It wasn't like a dream of mine, but it was something that just made sense for me to go. My mom ended up pushing me to do it. I didn't like it at the time, but I ended up thanking her a little bit later. And through that, I went and lived in 9 different countries, mainly Eastern Europe. I was on this mission called Atlantic Resolve. And basically, like everything that's happening now, with the army and Poland and Ukraine, like that's what we thought was going to happen back then, and then like it ended up actually happening like years later. But we were just on standby in 2017. But I got to see a lot of different things, meet a lot of cool people. I ended up getting out of the army after my initial term. I was married, and then that didn't work out, and I went through this point of where do I want to go in life? What do I want to do? And with that being said, it brought me to Florida because I do music, and I always wanted to do music. And I started going to Full Sail University. When I'm going to Full Sail University, I'm like, all right, this is not what I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like fireworks shooting out. Like every time I walked into class, I'm thinking Drake might be in the hallways from time to time. Like that's the way that they really position the school. If you ever seen a presentation, it's always we have these Grammy Award winning students, these Oscar awarded students, and so, but it was teaching a lot of stuff backwards to me. So I took it for what it was, got out, COVID hit, and I'm like, all right, everyone's stuck in the house. I took that to go full-fledged and getting my body right, and I started aviation school, so I'm like flying airplanes at the time, Cessna 172s. It got to a point in my life where I couldn't afford the flight school. So I'm like, all right, so how do I get out of this? Like, not get out of it, but how do I, solve this problem? I ended up meeting this guy who was doing wholesaling, and I said, all right, let me dibble and dabble with this. And I sold a couple of houses for him until I figured out that he wasn't really a legitimate guy, And it took a twist. And so I said, all right, how do I do this the right way? And the only thing I knew to do was to get my license. And that's when I started out at, C21, and I left there and I went to EXP and met so many amazing people. And through there, I had like different ventures of like what is my niche going to be? And at one point, it's Airbnb, it was new construction. I was doing this lead service called Opsity. And then I was like, you know what? Like, what is like, a rent to own one too? And with rent to own, I started getting so many people who couldn't qualify to get houses, to inspire me to learn credit and start a credit consulting company called cleanmycredit.net. And like, I'm working on getting all that together, because I really plan on this being a service to where it's digital products that you pay for, you can service yourself, or it can be a continuity plan where like subscription based, and we fix it for you. But that's like, I plan on launching that 6 months to 9 months from now. Right now, me and Ted are working on something for the veterans to where we can service them and educate them and get them in a home, like in the best capacity. And I'm also working on the title side. I'm locking in some things too for the sellers. But yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell. I know it sounds like a lot going on, but I try to condense.
There's a lot to unpack there, my friend.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you didn't get into real estate until COVID or post-COVID, but I met you. One of my first real memory of you is when we were doing some sort of fundraiser that was, you got on stage and you either did poetry or rap, or you did something. And that's when I knew that you were into music, or into, I can't remember, it was Sean Romano's event, I think.
Yeah. It was called Realtors Got Talent.
Yes, Realtors Got Talent. And I thought, what is he doing selling real estate? You're very talented at that. Talk about the real estate. Like, you jump in, Enrique, because I have lots of questions.
Yeah. I was just a dynamic life there, right? And what I love was that you had no fear into going and finding out. And so that's one attribute that a lot of people don't take credit for. So good on you for coming out of service and that. But I wanted to ask you, you left service, that things didn't work out personally and in service time. What do you think you gained from that service time that allowed you to be able to pivot as you do and find the next best thing?
I think like one of the beautiful things I was able to get was like 100%, TAP. Like, that was a beautiful thing. It allowed me to meet amazing people, get to see there's more to life than your city, your state. And I got to wow, what is that flying around here? But yeah, I got to just see so many different things. Because I don't know, like, the more you see, the more you believe. Like, the more you're exposed to, the more you're able to, I believe, accomplish. Like, if someone kept you in a cubicle your whole life, like how broad do you really think you can think about things? So that's what the Army did for me, more so than anything. It gave me like a good financial backing, and built some maturity, because I was 19 years old and I'm married. I have a house. I have a trucking company, and I own an 18-wheeler and 2 cats. I was 19, and I didn't know how to maneuver through all of that. So I'm not trying to make it sound like it was glitz and glamour and I was just skating through it, but I obtained it. And I was like, wow, this wouldn't have happened without the Army. So
the pivoting so important, because I think a lot of people get stuck. It doesn't matter military or not. They get into a career, they're not happy. It's not working out the way they want. Somebody's oversold them. That happens a lot. Believe me, I've been through it. And then you're like, what do I do? And I think a lot of people just get stuck and then just accept where they're at. So kudos to you for the pivoting, because I think a lot of people out there probably have been in your shoes in one way, shape, or form and don't know how to take the next step. So let's talk about that. You're on the cusp. You realize Airbnbs aren't for you, or this rent to own isn't for you. What do you do to restructure and redirect your energies to something new?
What do I do? So I don't know. Like, sometimes I just, I sit and I meditate on it, and I really think. I pray, and I just say, like, what is it, like, do I want to achieve in life? Or I say, like, what's on the other end of it? Because at one point I wanted to be like this world famous, rapper, you know, because I was like, I'm really good at music. I really like it. It's funny because I was like, I just made like some really funny like real estate songs. So I'm about to start like doing some promo for it and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to be that, then like a stand-up comedian. But then like deep down inside, I just didn't feel like it was going to fulfill me, you know. And I battled between like, is it fear? Is it like, am I chasing the fame, even though I don't really want to be famous? Like it was like, I don't know. Like and it came down to, I know exactly what I want out of life now. Like I want to be able to, you know, use real estate as a vehicle, master the skill. Because one thing I realized is that it no matter what industry you're in, everyone ends up getting to real estate in some capacity, or that's the goal, right? Like I haven't seen anybody that's successful that hasn't touched real estate. So I'm like, okay, let me master this at a young age. Okay, use it as a vehicle, segue into the next thing to where I can automate my life. And then by 27, 28, I'm in Cabo, Costa Rica, you know, Sangway, what, Turk and Caicos, eating steak, lobster, and then I Zoom call my team that I built and just say, hey, how's everything going? And by team, I mean the people that I've hired to help with the credit consulting business, right? Or maybe I might have some, you know, people on the real estate side running and doing deals, but I don't know. I want to dedicate my life to adventure and exploration. Like, to be real with you, I want to hire a college kid that cares more about experience than money and get him to vlog it all and post it. So I don't got to think about doing that type of stuff. I just enjoy it. Hopefully, I have one main woman on the side of me that I'm doing this with. If not, then it would just be like a variation, you know, but it'll be a great time.
It sounds like you have a vision board in your head. What you just described to me, I had this vision of all of these things, and which is great. It's law of attraction, it's prayer, it's meditation, whatever your particular beliefs are. But you have all of these things, and what's great is you were able to verbalize that. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. They know they want to get to the steak on Turks and Caicos, but they can't even visualize it. They just talk about it. They don't think about it. And it sounds like you've really put a lot of thought and prayer and meditation into that, which is why that's exciting to me, because that's where I think a lot of people fall. Enrique, I'm sure you could deal with that.
He said it earlier. If you could see it, you could believe it. And he's been exposed to so many things that he's like, it can happen.
Oh yeah. Like I at one point in time, they try to drill into our heads that when you know, if you can get to 65, you can retire and then you can enjoy the money and your hard work. I think that's BS, right? Because I've seen people, I'm 25. I personally know 23-year-olds, 26, 27-year-olds, like legitimately living the life that they want and not even posting about it. Right? Like they're actually like, where are you at? Oh yeah, I'm in Jaco Beach. Like I'm in Costa Rica. Like I'm living life, right? Like don't even want no one to know about it, but they've been able to create. And so I believe in the 3 M's and the 3 C's, right? And so for fulfillment in life, you must create, you must connect, and you must contribute, right? Which means like if you're not creating something, doesn't matter what it is, you have to create. It has to connect with people, because we naturally as human beings have to connect with other human beings and other life forces. If not, you die. Like, why do you think the most crucial punishment in prison is solitary confinement? It's because you're by yourself. You're going to go crazy. And then after that, you got to contribute. You got to change people's lives with your creations, with the connections. And then in business, I believe in the 3 M's, which is make, manage, and then multiply, which is where you have to make the capital, right? And that, you know, it's better for that to come through mastery of something. Doesn't matter what it is, but just mastery of something. And then you take that and you get the systems and automations, which is the management portion of everything. And then after that, you multiply, you do it again. Like you hire more people that can manage and you know, help your systems out, and you multiply the money, right? You go from making $50,000 to 100,000, to 500,000, and hopefully you can turn to a 7-figure, 8-figure business. And by then you automate it, because like I said, like my number in my head, like honestly, is if I can make anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 a month, I'm happy. Like, like I'm happy, because I had to realize to myself, like I was sitting the other day and I'm like, wow, I'm 25 and I'm not a depressed person, right? I believe a depressed state is very much so real, but I don't believe in depression being a disease, right? And this is coming from someone that I thought I was like like I went through a depression, but really it was the most clear cut signal that your spirit and that your body can give to you when you're depressed. Is saying, hey, we're not living life right. Like the circumstances need to be changed. And I started looking at like my volume of what I'm doing, like the money that I'm making, and I was like, wow, like this is why I'm going through a low point right now, is because I'm not going as hard as I should be going. So what are the things to do it to get there? So I might have been a long spiel, but yeah.
Oh, I love it. I was the first thing I thought is, as you're describing the M's and the C's, is Enrique, I don't know about you, but I was definitely not that focused at 25. I don't even know what I was thinking at 25, but I can tell you it wasn't that.
When he said he was 25, I was like, what?
You're an old soul, Lingo, an old soul. It's a compliment, by the way, a big compliment. All right, so as we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about the marketing that we're doing for veterans, because a lot of vets watch this. We post this on a lot of veteran groups. Why do you want to help? Why is that a niche that's important to you?
It's important because a lot of veterans do not know the power that they have with the VA loan and all the benefits that come along with it. And like they need someone to kind of help them, walk them through that process, from like the real estate side, the mortgage side, and get them to take out a piece of that American pie that they fought for. Agreed.
All right. All right, Lingo, what is the best way they can find you? We have your link tree scrolling across the bottom. I think you're going to have a lot of people that want to reach out to you and either get to know you or ask you real estate questions for sure.
You said the number to call me? What do you say?
You can give your cell, you can give your email, or you can just refer to the link tree that's going across.
Yeah, so the link tree does have everything in there. My email is lingo@exp1@gmail.com. My phone number, I don't mind. You can call me 407-602-5056. That's my hey, I'll give my Google Voice number out. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's like you just never know. You never know.
You never know. Enrique, how can they find you?
Yeah, it's easy for me. Go on LinkedIn. You'll see me plastered everywhere. But Triad Leadership
Plastered on the site, Enrique. Plastered on the site.
On the site. But Triad Leadership Solutions.com.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. And of course, my link tree scrolling across the bottom. Lingo, I'm super excited for our year. I'm really excited to give back and talk more with veterans that are not utilizing their benefit. And that is just something that just breaks my heart on a daily basis. Lots of vets rent, and I would love to see them get out of that and be able to get into the American dream, the home. All right. Go ahead.
Wait, before I've seen something that was like so powerful and so simple at the same time. They were like, so many people are scared about the interest rates right now being, like from 5 to 7%, depending where you're at credit wise. But like interest on a house is 100%. Like renting is 100%. It's 100%, like nothing, like going to. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I know it's like an unorthodox way of looking at it, but It's like you're talking about a 6%, but it's like, what is it on rent? Like it's 100.
That's reality.
This is the best time in the next 5 years.
Got to reframe. Everybody's got to rethink. Stop listening to all the crazy media out there and reach out to me, Lingo, or Enrique. Thanks, Lingo, for being on the show. If you have a veteran that you'd love to have on the show, or if you're a vet, and would like to talk more, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. Thanks, gentlemen. Have a great one. Appreciate you both.
All right.